Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from AstroladaOfficial, and these are your June 2025 horoscopes. June is very interesting month. We have Jupiter moving to Cancer on the 10th of June. For the last 2 years, Jupiter, the great benefactor, the one that's supposed to give abundance, growth, healing, expansion to every one of us, has been in two signs where it's very weak, in Taurus and Gemini. So these qualities of growth, expansion, optimism, you can see it even around the world. They have not been so easy coming to us. But Jupiter moving into Cancer is where it's strongest. And it will stay there for a whole year till next summer 2026. So those qualities of growth, of opportunities, will multiply, will become bigger. The ability to grow and to expand will become bigger for us over the next 1 year. I mean, fertility as well. Jupiter in Cancer is very fertile. The fertility of the land, the fertility of the animals and humans themselves should improve. So should the conditions of families. Cancer rules normal families. The good qualities, the good conditions around the world for even buying real estate should improve. For maybe laws will be, Jupiter rules laws, will be accepted kind of around the world in different places. That will give more preference for families, for normal people, which is Cancer. So we have a lot of wonderful things that are going to start the inception gradually from June. But initially, before this growth, this opportunity comes to us, right in June and July, Jupiter will receive a challenging aspect from Saturn and Neptune, because simultaneously in the whole June and the whole July, we're going to have Saturn and Neptune together in the sky. This happens once every 35 years. The last time Saturn and Neptune were together was the fall of the Berlin Wall, a big, huge socio-economic change starting to happen. And so the times are, this Jupiter, yes, will help us grow, but at the same time, we have very unstable social, economic, political times. And June and July are a peak. And again, Saturn and Neptune will meet in February 2026. And so the whole 2025, 2026, even into 2027, we have this Saturn-Neptune conjunction that starts a new cycle. But it's very powerful in June and July, because it's not only Saturn and Neptune, but the Jupiter squaring them. So the three gas giants are interacting in June and July. Plus, towards the end of June, there will be a new moon. The sun, the moon, and Jupiter will align in one line like that together. While at the same time squaring, which is a challenging aspect of corrections, of growth, of some crisis, will square Neptune and Saturn. So probably the peak month of 2025, of some very important social, economic, political, and even natural events. Watch out for big natural events happening. Two of the planets, Saturn and Neptune, are in Aries fire, and the a new moon with Jupiter, the moon, and the sun, the other three super important bodies in our solar system, is happening in water, in Cancer. So there can be this play in nature between fire and water. In some places it will be water big events, in other places there will be fire big events. We don't know which, but I have to put it out there. And internally, this is the clash of water and fire within us. And what happens when water and fire bring together? It's steam. It will get steamy. It will get tumultuous. This is also volcanic energy. Volcano fire erupts and falls into water, Cancer, where the other planets are, and solidifies into something. So water and fire can create earth. They can create something new, tangible, and real. But the initial clash, it's intense. They actually, even in esoteric knowledge, we know that the battle between the creative forces happens on the verge of water and fire, where demons and angels battle each other, but they together create the reality that we have. So we have this massive epic battle of the giants, of the Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, the sun involved as well. So there'll be tension within us. Imagine water is emotions, fire, it's so fire is an impulse to act, so the emotions will be very intense. There will be a lot of emotionalism in our reactions. So be aware of that. And because Jupiter is the desire to expand, to grow, optimism, faith, Saturn is the impulse to block that. So there will be moments of I feel very high and excited and inspired in June and into July, and moments where I feel the energy of Saturn. So seesaw, optimism, pessimism. Yes, I can do it. New inspiration. A new moon aligns with Jupiter, the sun, and moon in the first degrees of Cancer on the 26th approximately of June. And that's a powerful impulse for new beginning to fructify, to give birth. Cancer is a very motherly sign, creative sign, to give birth of something new that is, it will be very fruitful. But we have to overcome some challenge, and it might be the challenge of reality. Saturn rules the rules of the world, the materialistic obstacles we need to overcome, or the materialistic laws and rules that we have to follow in order to fulfill these new visions. Because definitely Jupiter in Cancer wants to give birth to something brand new, beautiful, very expansive and very fruitful. But at the same time, specifically in June, we have to overcome some obstacles. And this energy, how we're going to feel it collectively and internally. First, the markets, the financial situation can be quite crazy in June and into July. They can be, every time Saturn squares Jupiter, in the last year, we had it 2 times over the last 12 months. We always had the markets plummet because there's some rearrangement of layers. So we can expect something like that, similar as well. Also in personal financial circumstances, some rearrangements of layers and uncertainty, or having to overcome some obstacles as well. But generally, what Saturn square Jupiter is asking us to do is to build something new on the something, maybe, breathe new life into old plans. Saturn is something old. Jupiter is something new because it's just starting a new cycle into Cancer. And so we need to breathe something new into the old plans, or we can bring new something new wants to be born out of the old, but maybe through a crisis, because we have this square. And the other way we can see this energy playing out is we need to sacrifice something. Saturn Neptune conjunction, it's about sacrificing or giving up something in order to allow another area of our life to grow up. So if you have such themes in your life, no matter where it is, just know is that this big battle between all those planets here. Give up something or sacrifice so we can grow in a different direction of life. It's okay. Another way Saturn Jupiter square can play out is to realign your plans and goals, especially in business, especially the ones that are about the worldly achievements, because Saturn and Jupiter rule the external world, your goals, and realign them to make them more practical. And especially Saturn squaring Jupiter asks us to kind of pare down somehow our endeavors and concentrate our energies on some kind of more practical or fewer projects, or more high quality projects. So instead of big number, so if you spread yourself thin in a few places, you're doing a few things. Now it will be the time, June and July, paring down, just focusing on the really high quality projects or really high quality decisions in your life, and removing certain excess ones. So there is this concentration, but also whittling down of excess, whittling down of too many things, to focus on something very high quality, because Jupiter in Cancer is very high quality something, but just not too many things. And another way it can play out as well, and it's to cut down your liabilities, because Jupiter can also indicate expenses where we spend too much time or money or energy or emotions that is basically a liability, that it's a waste. Saturn will show us what is a waste to remove it when it's squaring Jupiter. So really beautiful things will come through Jupiter in Cancer, but more towards the second part of the year. More will start feeling it when Jupiter becomes visible and stops squaring Saturn, which is from August. Those opportunities will become easier to grow into, to expand. This very powerful growth of Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter is the strongest there. Growth, abundance, wealth. Jupiter rules all of those things. Joy, happiness. But June and July, it's still it's time where you whittle down, where you spread yourself too thin, extra expenses, extra liabilities, where you've been overdoing, where you have been overspending yourself thin, or overspreading yourself thin, or overspending will come under scrutiny during that time. But this is the preparatory stage for something big and something wonderful that you'll be blessed with over the next 1 year. So even if you have moments of uncertainty now in June and July, moments of like a crisis, like in a battle between light and darkness, between confidence and because Jupiter symbolizes to have faith, to be full of confidence, and Saturn is kind of like putting a brake on it or making you question what is realistic, what is not. But there will be some new ideas that are born, especially towards the end of the month, of very powerful new circumstances that are born and opportunities into your life towards the end of June, after the new moon in Cancer, while at the same time it will require either sacrifice or scrutiny or some real alignment and rearrangement of your other plans and other responsibilities, so you can focus on the things that are really important. And the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, I'll speak a lot more about it in the July videos, but it is happening. I think worldwide it will be very strongly activated in June, because Jupiter and the new moon trigger this conjunction in June. So watch out for big geopolitical, social, economic, big shakeups and new beginnings as well, because these are cardinal signs. Cancer and Aries, these are signs of new beginnings. Cardinality means to new circumstances, new beginnings. But because they're at a square, it's like you're moving forward with new beginnings. But I always love to give this example, but the cart is moving forward. Big spin of the wheel is happening, but the wheels of the cart are square. So, so the journey starts like that. Rough. Yes, new things start, but it's a rough start. And it's normal sometimes, it's I also, Saturn Jupiter is when you can curb certain overindulgent behaviors of yourself. It can be addictions, because Jupiter can be like overdoing something, and the initial stages are difficult. It's about retreating from society, going through the pains of not having what you usually indulge with. But after that, the abundance and the growth and the reward follows. Maybe I think we'll start seeing it from August. Whatever sacrifice we did, whatever more difficult choices we have to make now in June and July, and to prioritize in some direction. After that, especially September, October, November, December, such wonderful things are coming collectively to the world and individually, because in June starts the square of Jupiter and Saturn. But in towards the end of the year, so let's say the autumn in the northern hemisphere, Saturn and Jupiter hold a trine for 2 months. So there will be a big reward as well, big growth. But the new beginnings are now a little bit rougher, with some difficult decision, but they can be extremely, and down the line, they will be extremely productive, helpful, and let's say rewarding, especially if you do the hard work now. When Saturn and Jupiter, they require to keep a very moral principle stance of yourself. All right. So, and Saturn, Neptune, what can we talk about it? Again, it is connected to natural disasters as a possibility. It is connected to big political world events that will change. But this cycle lasts 35 years ahead. So we'll just see the seeds now of it. Because it's in Aries, it will be new political moves, new leaders, new direction of economics overall that will start just like when Saturn and Neptune joined last time in the early 90s, late 80s, the Berlin Wall fell, the communist regime in Eastern Europe fell. It was a brand new world. And the whole map, geopolitical, economically, will be rewritten over 2025 and 2026 through the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries. It might be in very harsh ways as well, through very strong leaders or very unapologetic means, because Mars, Aries, doesn't touch lightly. It's like, does, uses force basically. But there is another way to describe the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, which starts in Neptune in June and July. It's your ideals, which is Neptune, your belief systems, which is Neptune, will form and will be able to lay the foundations of something tangible and real, which is Saturn. A friend of mine had a vision about this combination, and she says it was given to you. I have very psychic friends. She wrote to me and says there was a message from Spirit towards you. And she said, I don't understand it, but it's for you. And she says, the waters you have chosen will build shores where there was none before. And I said, this is Saturn-Neptune conjunction that is just starting. The waters you've chosen, the emotional alignments, your beliefs, the water rules this, your beliefs, your ideals, and will determine, and also your, imagination. The waters is imagination, your inner world, your inner vibration, your soul qualities will build and will be able now to build shores where there was none. So you can create out of thin air, which is kind of Neptune, out of the imaginative, the idealistic world, the ideas in your mind, your inspirations, your dreams, you can make them into reality. And not just in June, July, this is a 1-2 year process, but it's starting now. What ideals are you going to get now? And how are you going to manifest them? Or what kind of inspiration, Neptune, are you going to receive now? Very rare. It's not going to happen again for 35 years. And how are you going to fulfill it? And let's start with the 12 signs, but I also have prepared for you Uranus in Gemini, which happens in July. A 5-hour webinar with 100 pages PDF with absolutely every possible aspect. Say if you're Leo, Venus in Leo, or Moon in Sagittarius, Uranus will oppose you, sextile you. What does it mean for you? And how Uranus in Gemini will affect you for the next 8 years. And I give even for the hard aspects, very optimistic outlook, what to look and what to expect for the final result, because the final result is what we're looking here, not the turbulence of the transit itself. But so you can keep the goal and the purpose, the spiritual and even material purpose of this, what it is. So you make sense of Uranus, because when Uranus affects us, everything changes in the life, everything suddenly. Without the warning, bam, one day is one way and the other day your reality is different. So you can check it out. It's only $19-20 for usually something that would cost $200. I want to make it affordable for you. So if you're interested, click on the link in the description below, and you can own it. For early birds, it's $20. It becomes $30 after that. Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising, June 2025. Taurus, June, we have the beginning of the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in your 12th house. Doesn't directly affect you, but here it's behind you exactly. So there will be some powerful subconscious processes that are starting to work in you, and those subconscious processes want to free you from old complexes, past lives. If you believe in past lives, but if you watch astrology, for sure, past lives, attachments, past lives, pains and hurts, or ones that are from this lifetime, but that are buried in your subconscious. And those are the things that we call underwater stones that we trip on. Deep motivations that are unconscious for us, fears that are unreasonable, and any kind of our inner demons and monsters that we're not very clear about because they're deep into the subconscious. Because the goal of Saturn-Neptune conjunction in your 12th house is basically to restructure your consciousness, your subconsciousness. That's the realm of the subconsciousness. And hopefully to implant it and to reprogram it with higher matrix images and beliefs in some way. It's one of the houses of deeply seated beliefs that are based on past lifetimes and early programming. And Saturn Neptune want to deconstruct, dissolve. Neptune dissolve, Saturn deconstructs it and infuse you with more with that your subconscious becomes your ally rather than your enemy. Many times our subconscious is the biggest enemy, the way we self-sabotage ourselves. So it can be a bit of a hidden process, psychological process that you're not exactly sure what's happening, or you might be working with a psychologist or self-analyzing yourself. And as I said, this process is a year or 2 year long, at least 2 years, but it's very intense in June and July now. It's going to be very intense in January, February 2026 as well, when the aspect repeats. So some old monsters might be released, let go of, and even self-sabotaging behaviors like addictions. 12th house rules addictions, and that's what Neptune Saturn will help you dissolve to some of you, release. It might not be an overnight process. These are both slow-moving planets. These both can take a couple of years to 3 years to see the results, but know that there is mighty forces in that direction. You might have an addiction to porn, you might have an addiction to spending and shopping. Saturn and Neptune will help you. Neptune helps you release, Saturn helps you say no. So this kind of a sacrifice, and even if it comes with some kind of a bit of the need to isolate at moments, but you can do it now. You can start doing it now. You can get the impulse very strongly now. Or there can be some other strongly held things that are keeping you to the past that start dissolving. It doesn't always have to be addictions, as we talked about. They can, but they also, it starts like a new beginning because they start a new cycle in your 12th house, not just in your subconscious that you'll be cleared up from certain old attachments and subconscious self-identifications, but also memories from the past can start resurfacing very strongly for a year, 2 years ahead for you. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction, it's very slow-moving and long-lasting. And even in your dreams, you might start reliving all traumas or fears or things that really kind of activated you psychologically, emotionally in your dreams. And you might not even be aware this is what activated you. But if you keep dreaming the same dream, say that your parents are leaving and you're young and they're going somewhere maybe, and you're like, why do I always dream of the spirit of my life? Or why do I always dream of this person from my high school or whatever? This is a sign that actually there was a trauma there, that unprocessed feelings. And the dream world is processing you for you. It's your subconscious is helping you process it through dreams. Like I've had years and years recurring dream with similar themes, and in my dream world I work through them, and little by little, after year I kind of act a bit more different in that dream. So it's sometimes we do it almost like subconsciously, that our higher or self is working on it even without us trying to, with psychologists or whatever, through our dream world healing us. But there can be also a new beginning there in regards to really people, especially people that are aligned to inspiration, music, art, that spend time alone to create something, which is the 12th house, and they need to download. You might be a writer, you might be even someone like me, an astrologer who spends a lot of time in my head thinking about influences, because 12th house is deep thinking, to go within yourself, deep introspection, to think on something. It's so it can be very supportive of deep meditative states for people for years ahead, if you're Taurus, for the next 2-3 years, for kind of really this inner world, organizing it, putting order to it, and enriching it. Neptune will enrich it. Saturn will organize those new inspirations, those new feelings that are unfamiliar for you, those new sensations, even to the connection to the invisible world sensations, because Neptune in the 12th house makes you very psychic for the next 14 years. It makes you very aligned to invisible astral positive or negative influences. So that's why it's imperative for you for years ahead to learn to control your subconscious. I mean, it's hard to control your subconscious, but to at least put some order when negative fears, unproductive, or kind of baseless fears or negative thoughts appear from the subconscious and feelings, to quickly, with the power of Saturn there, to reorganize them, to cut them off, because Saturn has the power to cut off. Instead of allowing yourself to, because both Saturn and Neptune on the low vibration can drag you down into very dark astral states, emotional, psychological, that depressive, fearful. But actually remember, if such things appear, not just in July, but for a year, a couple of years ahead, know that this is the process of actually you learning to work with those subconscious fears, to release them, to overcome them, rather than to be their slave. Because Saturn wants to, and Neptune, to liberate you from this slavery. But they can be a new beginning in a faraway country for some of you. I don't know, 12 houses, faraway countries, foreign places, unknown realms for you, or just really entering into the unknown realms of the imagination, the creative. As I said, this is a very creative house, the 12, to receive like downloads and to put them into reality. Say you receive a piece of music, Neptune, or an inspirational idea for a book or romance, Neptune, for a novel. Neptune is the very creative, idealistic, or inspirational. You receive some image there, and Saturn puts it into reality. Gradually, it's not going to be overnight, but that's how it can play out. It's also very good period to let go of things that you're wasteful with. 12 houses, the house of releasing wastefulness, overspending of your energy. This is what addictions are. They're overspending of our energy. That will be very potent period now for Tauruses, if you have such. And letting go of things. But don't forget that we have Jupiter from the 9th of June also entering your 3rd house. Wow, it will be there for 12 months. You might not immediately feel from June its beneficial influences, because Jupiter is the best and strongest in Cancer. It gives the best results, the most fruitful, the fastest growth, but not in June and July yet, because Jupiter is squared by Saturn. Saturn is about limitation, but Saturn-Jupiter square in your 3rd house will help you in June and July, for example, to prioritize where you're spending your money, your energy, and to cut down, especially 3rd house is projects, your everyday engagements, schedules, meetings, plans. 3rd house is very material, everyday life things, like your daily business. I do first this, second this, third that. And if you've overspread yourself too thin with such activities, the Saturn square to your Jupiter in your 3rd house will help you basically to concentrate on more productive project. 3rd house is any business projects, any where you put your mind as well. So some kind of a bit of a house cleaning first there, where you're putting your attention, what you read, who you talk with, the 3rd house, what you watch on TV, on social media. 3rd house rules all of those things. Or your daily, as I said, your daily many activities. If you spread yourself too thin all over the place, this couple of months, June and July, is about realigning you to the more quality such projects or activities that you do today in your day. So don't get frustrated if you get blocked access to certain such activities, because it's time for you to scale down back a bit, at least those 2 months. And after that, Jupiter will make your mind very fertile ground, because it's the 3rd house. Is like the 12th house is the subconscious mind. The 3rd house is the everyday normal mind. And of course, the 9th house is the higher mind. But so these houses for us, so something is happening, like rewiring of your consciousness, your subconsciousness, and conscious and subconscious part. And there can be some important decision for you to do about giving up something, or about 3rd house, about that you do in June, about travels or transportation that you use, for example, cars or travel trips, that especially in June is a bit tight or a bit tense, or you have to rearrange, reorganize something there. But also third house is your relationships with siblings, with relatives, with teammates, workmates, and the people in your everyday life. So they can be a bit of a culling initially, or deciding who are the quality people, because Jupiter will bring some really good quality people in your everyday life, because it's in Cancer over the next 12 months. You might start noticing it. They might even come now from the end of the month with the new moon day in your third house, but it's like Jupiter will really uplift the quality of people in your life. It will improve the relationships with siblings, with relatives. But again, initially it might be June and July, you might not see yet those things, but keep it in mind that I'm talking about Jupiter in your third house for the next 12 months. And Jupiter in your third house also wants to bring you more in your everyday, because third house is your perceptions, your everyday interactions, and Jupiter is kind of wonder, magic. Jupiter is interest. I just went through Jupiter through my third house, and I loved it. It's you become interested in the everyday events, in the normal people around you. Interactions become more gratifying, more rewarding. Again, it might be exactly the opposite in June for a bit, because Jupiter is squared by Saturn, so there is some challenge there to overcome. Maybe to remove first some people from your life and daily interactions, or your feed, or your social media that are annoying you, because Jupiter says, I really want good vibes in your environment for the next 12 months, and I'll help you achieve it. Good vibes in your mind, good vibes in your social interactions, good vibes in your... So maybe first, like the spirit to remove a few that are kind of, or the toxic ones. And it can improve over the next 12 months, definitely, your friendships. It can also make good shrine to your personal relationships. So it can, if you're Taurus rising, in particular, especially Jupiter in your third house will improve your marriage or relationships, opportunity to meet someone in a positive, healthy way rather than negative. Jupiter in the third house will expand, like, again, maybe not June and July, because Jupiter is challenged that time, but something new will be born. Maybe a desire to have a new car, maybe a desire to move somewhere. Third house is to move. Maybe a desire that will grow over the next 12 months, new hobbies and interests. Third house is hobbies, interests. With Jupiter transiting my third house from the sun, I learned to ski, I learned to which was a great thing for me. I developed new hobbies like Pilates, calisthenics. So third house is the interesting activities that Jupiter will expand them. But first, as I said, there might be the need to cull off a few useless, less qualities activities that you do. Third house is also if you have business projects. Say you're making a website, you're using your intellectual skills, your communication skills. Say you are running a business, you're a marketer or a manager of some sort. You need organization. Third house is planning, business, organization, business meetings, interviews, media. Any work with media is the third house. Or then Jupiter will make you very fruitful over the next 12 months, like very fruitful in creating a blog or making videos or writing articles or writing a book, or very fruitful, many meetings, associates in business. Third houses, associates, very high quality, good quality associates, people, teammates, workmates. As I said, maybe in June and July, you might not immediately feel this, because you're preparing and cleaning that area, but it will feel like this desire and this feeling and maybe signs that good people are coming in your environment, people that will be an upgrade for you, people that can help your business, or people that you like, you have more soul connections, because Cancer is soul connection with. Also, it can improve the relationships with siblings. As I said, something good can happen in the life of sibling. Just like when I had Jupiter transiting my third house, now my brother within the spirit will get married and is expecting a baby. So very good things in the life of siblings. My relationship with him and with all my siblings improved as well. So if you've been struggling, or with neighbors, if you've been having problems and fighting with neighbors, this improves. You form closer neighborhood bonds, or with teammates and workmates as well. Over the next 12 months, things will really improve. You can do some big project like a website, like a business project, media project. It's very good for popularity because third house is a social house. Jupiter will expand that to connect to the right people, to connect to the right clients. So business-wise is also a very good, or to learn something new, and it comes with ease. But because Saturn is squaring Jupiter in June and July, you have to first maybe unlearn some things or let go of some activities or things that busy your mind, like wasting your time on social media. Because Jupiter really in Cancer wants the best high quality. And you can overstimulate your mind when Jupiter is in your third house with too much information. But now it's time to gather information. You become like a butterfly for the next 12 months. Buzz, 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 buzz. Gathering information, new impressions from different sources. You'll sort it out later on. But at the same time, Saturn and Neptune will continue to work in your 12th house for 2-3 years. We talked about that, cleaning up the old stuff, 12th house, your own inner demons, battles with them, and self-sabotaging behaviors. While Jupiter in your third house opens you to, wow, there's so new and interesting things in reality. I can learn. You become interested in, I can learn this, I can do this thing. A bit like a child, this brings this third house, this when Jupiter stimulates this Gemini-like, childlike curiosity in the world around you, in trying new things, in doing experimenting. It's very experimenting energy, opening yourself to the opinions of others, opening yourself to the new information that's coming towards you in some way. So yeah, this is, that's how things will be playing out. And it's good for trips. We took what Jupiter in my third house took, and even though Jupiter in my third house was weak in Gemini, but for you it's strong, like great time to travel over the next 12 months. Maybe June is a bit, again, I warn. But there'll be multiple short trips or multiple possibilities to travel around, take trips and so on. And if you're in business, marketing, management, or media of any sorts, very good news for you. And you can also cool down your spending and overexpending of your energy, because 12 houses where our energy is wasted there. And just one last thing for June, very good for you. You're all protected, Taurus. If you're Taurus rising, Sun or Moon, Venus is in your sign pretty much most of the month after the 6th, 7th of June. So Venus, the planet that rules you, you become more magnetic, more attractive, good things come to you, good food, good clothes, good smells, those 5 senses. The pleasures and comforts of life that you like are more easily accessible as well. This month only, it's a short influence. And if you want to make a good impression on someone, when Venus is in your first house, perfect time, go for it. Or if you want to have romantic time, again, perfect time for it, with the things that you love the most. Romance is more easy to come, love as well, you expressing love, and you're attracting with your own more zen and likable vibration, attracting others in some way. So thank you so much. And by the way, if you want to know how Uranus will affect you for the next 8 years, when it moves from Taurus, finally in July it's moving, Uranus is coming into your second house, will stay there for 8 years, but many Tauruses have planets in Gemini. So what it means to transit, say Uranus transiting your Venus or Mercury, or Uranus opposition your Saturn. I cover all of this in my $20 webinar, Uranus in Gemini. For early bird, later on it will be $30, 5 hours. And I give you all the possibilities and all the exciting opportunities Uranus can bring. And it's not directly disrupting your life anymore as well. So check it out.